Folks, how are we doing today? Happy NFL Week 9. Happy Sunday. It is MereKat here, joined by Steve, Steph, some guy named Steve, CDV, whatever the hell you want to call him. We're locked and loaded for a little Best Bets live show today. We're live again. We just don't want to deal with the technical difficulties. Plus we've been really enjoying our Saturdays recently.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like, let's just go live for the people, be up to date with all the injury reports and such, hopefully. Steve, how are we feeling today?
We're doing good. Last week, as you know, we weren't here. We had a little bit of a bye week. I wasn't here. I was in Columbus. I did tweet the picks, 3-2. Stevie Buys play one again, 7-1 on the year. We love that. We love that for the Stevie Buys play. But I'm doing good. I'm hyped, MereKat, to just be back home, get to relax and watch a bunch of football. A lot of fun games on the slate today. I will say that when I was looking at the slate compared to probably the past 2 or 3 weeks, there's a lot of good games, a lot of potentially very exciting games this week. So I'm excited to just dive into it.
Yeah, it's a smaller board for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The bye week is hitting hard this week, that's
Yeah.
for sure. But it's a quality board. I'll take quality over quantity any day of the week. But before we get into it, a shout out to our sponsors at BetUS. Listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all their favorite sports, including the NFL, UFC, and MLB. If you're looking for live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props, and parlays, they got them. And how about fast payouts and exceptional one-on-one service? They got that too. So log into betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS, where the game begins. Stevie, I'm going to kick it off this week. I don't love my boards. I don't love my board. I love the board. I don't love my plays.
Okay.
Today, which is it's just I don't know. I'm feeling off the past few weeks. I haven't been getting crushed or anything, but it's like haven't had those big wins, those big chases. So I don't know what I'm feeling going into today, but I do feel this play. It's the Washington Commanders plus 8.5, teased with the over in that game against the Vikings, over 38.5, just at about even money there. Because the second I heard the Dan Snyder news, I knew I had to take this play. He's a bad guy. Nobody wants him owning this team, whether it's the players, the fans, the staff. And now they get to celebrate on the football field at the prospects of Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z buying their team, free from the tyrannical reign of Dan Snyder. And I couldn't be any more in on Taylor Heineke. 308 total yards and 2 scores last week. He always comes in as just a spark plug. He might not be the guy, but when you call on him, he'll flash that he's the guy. The kid is an absolute electric factory, and that offense with the weapons they have, like Scary Terry and Curtis Samuels, they also get to be freed now. Not from Dan Snyder, but from the reign of Carson Wentz. I think this offense is going to be having a lot of fun on the field today. The Vikings defense is good, but it's kind of mid. And I think Washington can, have some success against them today. I think they could put up points against them, and they might be without Cam Dantzler. I don't think we have an official word if he's playing or not. And if he does play, he's going to be banged up. He's a game time decision with that neck injury. You don't love that. He's, the cornerstone of that Vikings secondary. The public likes the Vikings, which we love to fade them here. And you just see both of these teams could score. I can see this one actually staying somewhat tight. Both of these teams airing it out a bit against each other. Because they both kind of have overrated secondaries, and that Dantzler injury is big. Whether he goes or not, it's still an impact on the game. So I like the points over 38.5 here, and Commanders to keep it close with that 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. I'm a big Kirk Cousins guy, and it's 1 p.m., which is his ideal time slot. But I do think it's going to be a close game. I think if we've seen anything from Taylor Heineke so far this year, is that he just finds ways to get Washington in the game, even though they'll be trailing probably the whole game. He'll have that last couple drives to just get them right in there, maybe get the win. I don't mind that play, and I do feel sneaky shootout, right? Sneaky shootout in this game.
Exactly. Yeah.
My first play, I think this is the opposite of a sneaky shootout. I'm taking the Patriots minus 4.5 home against the Colts. Here's the thing. It's Bill Belichick versus a young, inexperienced quarterback, right? Sam Ehlinger, I know it's his second year MereKat, but he's technically a rookie. He didn't have a pass attempt last year in his rookie season. He ran 3 times for 9 yards. That's all he did in his rookie year. And he's only had one career start, and that was last week, where he looked all right. But now you're going up against Bill Belichick. And what does Bill Belichick do? He puts these young QBs in a pretzel. He makes their life hell. 25-6 Bill Belichick Patriots teams against rookie QBs, 15-0 at home. And like I said, I know Ellinger's not a rookie, but I'm considering him a rookie QB for this week. I think the Patriots are just going to do what they do best at home, and that's kind of win in the Patriot way. They're going to run the ball a lot. Damian Harris may be back. He's questionable right now, but he's a game-time decision. Ramondre Stevenson has looked great. And, oh, by the way, the Colts don't have Jonathan Taylor, which I know he's struggled a little bit this year, but he is still their best offensive weapon. That allows Belichick in this Patriots secondary, which is very good, to focus solely on Michael Pittman and just get him out of the game. And that's really what they do. They're going to take away your best offensive weapon. If you take away the number one receiver, Michael Pittman, for the Colts, it's going to make it really tough for Sam Ehlinger, I think, to move the ball on this team. I think the Patriots, this is a situation where they can just run the ball like 65-70% of plays against this Colts defense, just dominate time of possession and force Sam Ehlinger into mistakes, which he really wasn't immune to at Texas. So I'm going to take the Patriots -4.5. I think could be a blowout. I think this is kind of similar to when we saw the Lions come into New England and they got blanked 29-0. Yeah, it's a flashy, fun team with a lot of weapons, but the Patriots are going to do what they do best: keep you off the field, force your QB into mistakes, and run the ball. And I think that's their formula for success today against the Colts. I expect Ehlinger to have multiple turnovers, and I think the Patriots win this game probably by double digits, but it's going to be something like a 23-3. Also, too, Mac Jones practiced fully this week, and I know the team is backing him this week. Like, he is the guy. I expect the Patriots just win this game pretty easily. I love -4.5.
Yeah, I like the Patriots play. I took the Pats last week. They covered. They've been getting disrespected with the lines. I think now with stability at quarterback and Mac, they were a playoff team last year. I still like them to compete here and there. Unbiased MereKat. But my next play, this isn't biased, I swear. I swear, Steven. Steven, don't get mad at me here. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -3 against the Rams.
That's not biased at all. I take them too.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this one was especially for you. I hate to say it. I'm not trolling, but the Rams just are not good this year.
No,
I'm not saying the Bucs are good. Yeah, they're not. They're bad. And I'm not saying the Bucs are good. Both teams are sub 500 right now. But Tom Brady. The early theme of the picks this week is people being freed. We had it with the Washington offense and the whole organization. Now we have Tom Brady is freed from his family and marriage and can focus on the one thing he truly cares about is football. The Giselle news is out of the headlines already. He gets to focus on football, forget the family. Who cares about them? I like Brady bouncing back this week. And Matt Stafford's elbow is basically jello at this point, and that offense can't get anything going because of how bad the offensive line is. The Rams line has allowed the second most pressures in the league, the third fewest rushing yards before contact so far this season, and they rank just 25th in pass block win rate and 30th in run block win rate. That's just not good. Tom Brady always plays well with a little extra rest, too, and I just like him to put up points against the pedestrians Rams secondary in this game because the Bucs kind of have to bounce back at some point. They've been dealing with so many injuries and all this Brady drama, yada, yada. This kind of feels like the get-right game for the Bucs if they still have any hopes of making this playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, to touch on what you said real quick, I mean, the Rams have looked terrible. You have a situation going on in the backfield. They don't have a running back right now. They just don't have a running back. You're not going to move the ball against the Bucs when you don't have a running back. Cooper Kupp actually was banged up a little bit this week, even though he's a full go. They say he's a full go, but you can't trust anything with the Rams injury report with how it's been so far this year. And how do you beat the Rams defense? You just shred them up the middle. We saw the Niners do that with McCaffrey last week. The Bucs can do that very easily with a guy like Chris Godwin in the slot or Leonard Fournette. This is going to be the week I get freed from any expectations for the Rams when they lose this week. And I'm like, all right, they got the Super Bowl last year. They sold their soul for it. And now they're just a bad football team. I have to accept it.
Not your title, though.
So You're fading one LA team. I'm taking the other LA team with the little Stevie daily double, MereKat. You know I gotta have a little double dip right here. I'm taking the Chargers -3 at the Falcons and Austin Eckler over 51.5 receiving yards. The Chargers -3 against the Falcons. Listen, we are big Justin Herbert fans, MereKat, and he has not looked healthy that much at all this year. Has not played great, but they had a bye. That's a full week of rest, and now they're playing a Falcons team that's been playing a little bit above their head all year long. They got gifted a win against Carolina last week. I don't know how you lose that game. DJ Moore, don't take your helmet off, man. What are you doing? Why are you taking your helmet off with 15 seconds left to go in the game? You have that game won. PJ Walker made the throw of his life, and then you blow it there, and then you miss another field goal in overtime. It was just a mess. But the one thing that is consistent with the Falcons all year long, not that they've been covering against the spread, their pass defense, allowing 318 yards per game, 2,455 total yards on the year. That's 200 more than the second worst team. Herbert gets a week off and now gets to face this terrible pass defense. I love it. Sign me up, Chargers -3. I think Herbert shreds this team. And I don't care that there's no Keenan Allen or no Mike Williams. I don't care that Josh Palmer is first game coming back for a concussion, although he's a full go, they said, but you never want to take those guys as soon as they come back with a concussion. I don't care that DeAndre Carter right now is questionable with a sickness, just puking his brains out before the game, because they have one Austin Eckler, who is the second half of my double dip here, over 51.5 receiving yards. He's going to shred this Falcons defense. The Falcons are not good against running backs, especially pass catching running backs. Fournette had 10 for 83 against them earlier this year. Mixon got involved when the Bengals played the Falcons. I love Austin Eckler here. He's averaging 51 receiving yards a game, so right on the number. But the last 2 weeks, when you've had both Allen and Mike Williams banged up, has been ridiculous, MereKat. 28 targets out of the backfield, 22 receptions, and 143 receiving yards. He's going to get fed with targets. It's just what's going to happen. Justin Herbert's going to rely on him and not these new receivers they're going to throw in the mix. We still don't know how much work Josh Palmer is going to get, but I'll tell you what, even if Josh Palmer gets a full volume of work, he's not a number one receiver, but he's going to get number one receiver attention. And oh, by the way, the Falcons, their only good member of their secondary, A.J. Terrell, he's out again this week. So I think the Chargers are going to be able to pass up and down on this Falcons team. Herbert's going to get everyone involved, and I would not be shocked if we see Eckler get another 15-target game with a ton of screens. Just give him space to run around the field. I'm taking the Chargers -3, and I'm taking Eckler over 51.5 receiving yards. I love both plays. I think the Chargers win. I think this is kind of a get-right spot for them as the Falcons kind of fall down a little back towards earth because they haven't been playing great the past couple of weeks. They were 6-0 against the spread. They've lost their last 2 against the spread, 6-2. We always find teams go right back down to the mean, right? Everything regresses to the mean. The Falcons are not going to be like a 13-4 ATS team this year. They're going to come back down. Give me the Chargers with a week of rest, with Herbert getting healthy, -3, and Eckler to shred this Falcons defense.
That one's a bit of a predicament for me because I love the Chargers, but it seems like every time I bet them, they lose one of those one-score games or don't cover by like a single point. And God, I got a sweet spot in my heart for those Falcons. So I avoided that one, but I do like the play a lot there. I mean, it's the right play. Is this going to be the right play? Probably not. Excuse me. I can't quit these teams. I say it every week. I just can't. This is gross. I hate myself. I need to stop. Something is wrong with me. We're going with the Lions +8.5 against the Packers, and the Jaguars +7.5 against the Raiders. Teaser -109 odds there. I'm back on the Lions train, baby. Don't ask me why, but we are here once again. I just cannot quit them, and I can't quit teasing them. I just love giving them points. Gobble them up. Nom, 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 nom. Take all the points, Lions. I'll keep giving them to you every week, even though you keep disappointing me. Green Bay, though, just not good. I was wrong about them heading into this season. I'm mad enough to admit it. I was so wrong. The ayahuasca may have just ruined Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the dude just won back-to-back MVPs, and now he is 3-5. Looks like a shell of himself. 13 scores in 8 games. His worst pace, in a decade, and he's unable to win games single-handedly anymore. He can't get going with his receiving core. Packers have lost 4 straight, and Detroit's offense seemed to have bounced back last week against Miami. They didn't win, but they had 27 points and good overall production across the board there. And you have a chance for DeAndre Swift to come back today. I actually probably should look that up since we are live. Last night it was
he's going to be limited. He's going to be limited. They said he's going to play in a limited fashion, which is just it's so frustrating because I looked. You know what his rushing yards prop is? 29.5. If he gets 5 carries, he probably hits that, but I can't take him because the Lions just refuse to play him.
Yeah, you can't try to read Man Campbell's mind there, especially when it comes to offensive game planning. But they're getting guys involved in this offense. I mean, they're confident enough in the offense. They're trading TJ Hawkinson away. Khalif Raymond's coming on a bit. I mean, they like Josh Reynolds. Just wait till they get Jameson Williams back. I mean, it's going to be something. But I just like the Lions to score points today. And speaking of teams that I can't quit going against, teams that I liked going into this season that now just suck, we are fading the Raiders and taking the Jaguars here. Giving the Jags some points here against them because, the Raiders I'm just giving up on. I came in pretty adamant into the season saying I thought they had a chance to win their division. I was dead wrong there, but I think we get a bit of a shootout here between Carr and Lawrence. Another sneaky shootout on the board. This is mostly just a gut play, though. I mean, it's even kind of a public play, but I'm confident in the points I'm buying here. I think this is going to be a close game, and I like Jacksonville. I think they can stay in any game. I don't see the Raiders blowing them out here, and Jacksonville's offense could get it going, especially with Travis Etienne. The last 4 weeks, Etienne has had 10 for 71, then 10 for 86, then 14 for 114, then 24 for 156. This dude is just getting better and better and more volume every week. I was not sure how he was going to perform in the NFL. He looks incredible in that Jacksonville offense, and they're barely even using him as a receiver, which, everybody was like, oh, Urban Meyer's just going to line him up in the slot. He's not even going to be a running back. Well, they got rid of James Robinson, the most disrespected player in the league, because they believe in him so much, and now the increase in volume is paying off for them. I think that's huge for their offense because I think Lawrence is good enough to get it to, we have what's his name? Ingram, the tight end finally coming on. Zay Jones, obviously. Christian Kirk is a number 1 receiver. I just like, ETN, especially going against the Raiders D, that allows a first down on over 28% of the rushes against them. Don't love that. I think Jacksonville can control this game a bit. I think they can keep it close, especially with both of these teams. So Lions plus 8.5, Jags plus 7.5.
I don't love the Lions just because Aaron Rodgers owns Detroit, and if there's any time he's going to get right, it's going to get against the Lions. I'm a little worried. I think he's going to have Lazard back this week too, but I'm right there with you with the Jags. I just looked it up as you were talking about it. ETN, 78.5 rushing yards. That feels like a little sprinkle. That's a little sprinkle. Raiders have not been good against the run this year, and ETN has shown he's a workhorse, which is, we both loved ETN. I loved him coming out of cuts, but I thought it was going to be more Alvin Kamara type role. He's being a workhorse, which is crazy. Yeah. So I'm taking my 4th play, MereKat. My 4th play. I'm going with a player prop. I have to go back to these receiver player props. You saw what happened last week while I wasn't here. I just sent you my 5 best bets. It was all receiver props because I can't help myself. I love them. And they went 3-2. We've been very good on receiver props this year, and I'm actually taking someone who I took last week as well. Darnell Mooney, 42.5 receiving yards. This number is way too low. MereKat, from the hobby perspective, Justin Fields is getting all the buzz because he's finally starting to play pretty good. He's finally starting to get his guys involved. And Darnell Mooney has been the big beneficiary of that. Darnell Mooney, his first 3 games was dreadful. 11 targets total, just 27 yards. That's only 3.5 targets a game, 9 yards per game. It's been miserable. But since then, Darnell Mooney has emerged as the number 1 wideout on this team. Last 5 games, 33 targets, 337 yards. That's almost 7 targets a week at 67 yards per game. Also, in those last 5 weeks, not once did he go under 52 yards. The number's set at 42.5 for Darnell Mooney, and he's going up against a Dolphins pass defense, which is not good this year. They've allowed 275 passing yards per game. Justin Fields has really started to throw the ball a little bit better. better. They're actually letting him move outside of the pocket, throw on the run, and I love Darnell Mooney because he's been used in a number of ways. They use him with the short screens. They use with the quick over the slot, and they've been throwing some deep balls to him. And the Bears this week added Chase Claypool, who may not play a lot. They said anywhere between 10 to 35 snaps, which is just the stupidest thing to say. But regardless, that is another body that the defense has to worry about when he's on the field. He could take the top off the defense a little bit and allow Mooney to get open underneath in the slot. I love Darnell Mooney this week. Probably my favorite prop of the entire week is Darnell Mooney, 42.5 receiving yards. I think he could get this in just a couple of receptions, and I also think he's going to get a lot of targets against this Dolphins secondary. He's just going to get open. They have used him in a number of ways, and not to mention, too, it's beautiful weather in Chicago. The Bears are home. You don't have to worry about that bare, cold weather. And I think the Dolphins score on this Bears defense. I know the Bears defense has been playing good lately, but no matter who your defense is, it's very hard, nearly impossible to stop both Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Dare I say, not a sneaky shootout in Chicago, but we might see more points than people expect. So I'm taking Justin Fields to kind of go right with Tua shot for shot. And if you're going to do that, you're going to use your number one receiver who has clearly emerged, and that's Darnell Mooney. I think a number one receiver, really for any team to be lower than 50 yards a game is disrespectful, especially Mooney, 42.5. Give me Darnell Mooney. I love this play, MereKat. This is my favorite prop of the week. One of my favorite props probably the past few weeks. It's just way too low for a number one receiver who's very good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. That's a crazy low number for Mooney. He had such high hopes heading into the season, but you brought it up. Fields Fields had like 18 completions through fucking 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Because they were trying to make him a pocket passer. What are you doing? Yeah. Now they're actually letting Fields run. And it's working. Look at the Bears offense. They're scoring.
Yeah, and it's even wilder when you think he's fucking throwing to Equinemius St. Brown and Ellis Jones and Dante fucking Pettis and that all. But I will follow up your prop of the week, your receiver prop with a receiver prop of my own. And if you want to call this a bias play, I will take it. We are going with Gabriel Davis over 53.5 receiving yards of the day. I absolutely love this one. I know we're getting biased off the bat here, but who cares? The Bills are going to shit on the Jets today, even with their defense being out. I think, if anything, this helps the prop. With Poyer and Milano and these guys being out for the Bills, the Jets may score some points. The Bills are going to have to score points. It's not going to be the classic Bills going into the third, fourth quarter, taking their foot off the gas pedal, trying to burn out clock after they build a nice first half lead. I think we might see, we've used this word like 10 times today.
Oh, God.
Another sneaky shootout here with the Bills.
Sneaky shootout week. It's sneaky shootout week.
Exactly. I don't respect the Jets, but the one thing I do respect is Sauce Gardner, and he's been absolutely incredible this year. He is awesome to watch play football. I am so jealous the Jets have him, and he has set the shadow Stephon Diggs today. But Gabriel Davis, I'll take him against whoever else the Jets throw at him in that secondary this afternoon. Davis has at least 6 targets in each of the last 3 games, going over 53 yards, and just 2 of them. But one of them was an absurd 3 catches for 171 yards and 3 scores. I mean, he's just a big play threat. He can easily break this number in one play. He's done it many times in his young career, going over 53.5 yards on a single play. I think he sees a bit more volume today. I like Davis to get, 4 to 6 catches in this, and if he gets that, there's no way he's not going over this number. He should be the focal point for the receiving core today. I'll also be taking this anytime to score prop. It's like plus 135. I love the over here. I'm making it the official play, the top prop of the week. Let's go, Gaby baby.
I love that play. I was on Gabe Davis. He was actually on my short list of bets I was going to take, but I didn't end up taking for our best buy. But I will be putting a little sprinkle on Gabe Davis this week. I love him. The only thing I will say, MereKat, because we saw it with the Packers, that Jair Alexander did. He wasn't a pure shadow on Stephon Diggs, right? He was covering Gabe Davis a lot. Do we know for a fact that Gardner is going to follow Stephon Diggs? Is that something?
It's not something that's been like reported. Like the way they've been playing Gardner, he's been shadowing the number one. They've used him as when you like Packers defense, it's more like, hey, positionally where they're at on the field and stuff. some teams are starting to get away from, the pure number one corner, just shadowing the top guy no matter where he's at on the field all the time. But the Jets have done that with Sauce this year, a pretty decent amount. And that's why Sauce is making these plays and making such a name for himself so early on, is because he's going up against these top guys. They're putting this trust in him. They're kind of putting him on an island. And so I'm just expecting that to kind of carry over to today. But I love KB today.
I do too. I'm playing him in all my DFS. I love Gabe Davis. I think we're on the same page today, MereKat, which means I have to get on the opposite page of you for the Stevie Bias play of the week.
Oh, no.
And we're 7-1 on the year with the Stevie Bias play of the year. We've taken Rams props. We've taken Vikings props. We've taken Garrett Wilson props. We've taken so many Stevie Bias plays, and they've all been good to us. But there's one team we have not taken for the Stevie Bias play, and it is the Stevie Bias team of last week, the Tennessee Titans.
I knew it! God damn it, Steve!
But we are not taking the Titans spread. We are taking Derrick Henry, King Henry, put the crown on, over 88.5 rushing yards. This number is insultingly low. Insultingly low. First off, the Chiefs being 12.5-point favorites against the Titans, a team that always has their number. That's a completely another story. But here's the deal. If you think the Titans are even going to make this somewhat of a game, which I do, they're going to do it through Derrick Henry, and they're just going to run the ball. I don't care that this is Titans bias. This is just logic here. Derrick Henry's under 100 rushing yards. Just take his prop. I don't care who he's playing. The Chiefs, third best rushing defense in the NFL. I don't care. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. They're going to score a lot of points. I don't care. You think the Titans are going to be down 2 scores and they're going to be like, oh, our best way to get back in this game is try to have Ryan Tannehill throw the ball around the field? No, they're going to run the ball. That's all they need to do is run the ball. The last 4 games, Henry's gone over 100 in all 4 of them, averaging an absurd 140.7 yards per game. And not only that, he's getting 28 carries a game. So where's everyone like, oh, Henry's going to have a down year. He can't be a workhorse again. No, apparently he can. He is just a big refrigerator who can run like a 4.240, and he's going to run on whatever defense you throw in front of him. They're just going to give the ball to Henry. He's just going to run about 35 times, and he's going to get this number easily. KC is not going to stop Derrick Henry. 88.5, insultingly low. I do not care if KC wins this game by 20 points. Titans are not going to play Kansas City and not give Derrick Henry at least 25 carries. The only way he doesn't hit this number is he probably gets hurt, and it's Derrick Henry. I'm putting my faith in him. I'm putting my faith in Derrick Henry, who has looked great the past handful of weeks, to just run the ball on this KC team. If you want to keep it a game, Titans, give him the ball. The spread way too high. Maybe I sprinkle a little bit on the Titans 12.5, but for the bias play of the week, Derrick Henry, 88.5 yards, insultingly low. It is insultingly low. He's just going to run the ball 30 times. He's going to hit this number.
Yeah, that's a ridiculously low number, especially for how hot he's been getting lately in his history against the Chiefs. I like that one there. But to round things out here, my final play, we had to go with a sicko teaser here. Is it a true sicko teaser? No, but I cannot ignore my gut this week. We already talked about one of the plays, and I had to put it in here. I just had to get it in here. The first play, the Bills and Jets. I know I said this might be a sneaky shootout, but I'm taking the under in it. Just the way the Bills have gone. I don't know why I threw that in there, the sneaky shootout. I just wanted to keep saying sneaky shootout. There have not been more than 44 points in any of the Bills' last 5 games, and they haven't gone over 51.5 once this year. Just need to whisper that because I don't want to say it too loud. I don't want people to put the under label on the Bills. I'm knocking my laptop around because it disgusts me so much. I do like the Bills to win handedly in this game, even with the defensive, pieces missing in this one. But between the defense being so good, am I trusting them to just shut down Zach Wilson and the Jets? I think all they'll really be getting going is on the ground, if anything. The Bills' offense's innate ability to stall out and take their foot off the gas pedal late in games scares me here too. I just don't see a crazy amount of points here. I think it might be a little close. We might see more in the second half, but again, the Bills haven't gone over this number once this year, and we've had divisional unders going absolutely insane, 28-12 so far this season. That is wild. But the real gut play here that makes it not a true sicko teaser. This is just I don't even have notes for this, I don't think. Jags and Raiders over 42.5, and that makes the Sicko teaser plus 103. I talked about the Jags-Raiders game a bit here, but I think we do have a shootout in this one. The Raiders defense is a sneaky shootout in this one. The Raiders defense is an abysmal 29th ranked in EPA play. So I like Lawrence and Etienne to put up points. We already went over what Etienne could do for that offense now. And the Jaguars defense isn't much better. The Raiders offense before last week's goose egg against a good New Orleans defense had 38, 32, and 29 in their previous three. So we know they can, score points. I like the Jaguars to score points. I just think that 42.5 is way too low when I'm teasing it here for the Sicko teaser. And that'll round it out.
I like it. I mean, we've got folks. You heard it. We have like 4 or 5 sneaky shootouts. So we'll see.
The NFL 10 sneaky shootouts in this 12-game slate.
The NFL's been all about unders this year. Maybe this is the week it kind of goes back in the other direction. We see a little sneaky shootout week, like I think we did a couple weeks ago, where it was overs galore. I'm excited, MereKat. I'm excited. I honestly think we're going to have a lot of good games this week. This is like the first time in like 3-4 weeks I've looked. I'm like, these are a lot of games I want to just tune into. The only one I don't want to watch is Bucks Rams. That's really the only game this week I don't really care to watch.
Yeah. And that's because you don't want to watch it because of the pain that'll ensue.
Yeah, exactly. I also don't think it'll be a good game. It'll be like 17-10 Bucks.
That's going to be disgusting.
Yeah, that'd be gross. Take the under in that. Sneaky shoot on everything else. Take the under in that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to wrap it up.
Oh, wait, did you give all 5? Wait, did you kick it off?
I gave the double dip. The double dip.
Oh,
the Chargers,
I'm like, wait, I went first this week. Steve's going to close it out, but you had the double dip. I
got to sneak in with the double dip. I have to sneak in with the double dip.
Sneaky shootout, sneaky double dips from
Sneaky shootout,
Steve. This is
double
the sneaky week. Week 9 in the NFL. We got a lot of sneakiness going on with this slate, but what's not sneaky are our sponsors at BetUS.com. Sports bettors, your favorite sports book. BetUS.com is back for their 28th year of NFL action. They have live in-game betting, incredible odds, daily odds boosters, props, parlays, fast payouts, exceptional one-on-one customer service. They got it all at BetUS.com. So log into BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. Where the game begins. Stevie, thank you for joining me again this week. Everybody who tuned in, we hope you tail us. I was going to say we hope you fade us. I hope you fade us. I hope you fade me. I give out all my plays. I don't want anyone to take them. I'm so disgusted by every single play I take, regardless if it works or not. You should be tailing Stevie this week, though. He's got a bit of an aura about him. I think Stevie might sweep the board this week.
Oh, that's bold. That's
PBO.
bold.
I'm putting the positive vibes out there for the show.
I love it. I love to see it. Well, let's see, MereKat. Let's see. We've been on a good stretch. We've been on a really good stretch for the best bets. Let's continue it. In the first week, I think that I have said in like 4 or 5 weeks that I don't hate the board. So that's kind of scary, but
that is.
We'll see.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Tune in next week for week 10 of the NFL. Already week 10. Absolutely insane next week. But let's enjoy week 9 when we have it. Let's win some free money. Shout out to BetUS and good night.